What's up, everybody? We're getting that opportunity, but the question is, are we seeing opportunity for bigger moves to the downside, or is this about to just completely trap the bears and launch to the upside? We're going to be diving into this here in just a couple moments, but as we're sitting right now, let's everybody get this retweeted, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. I posted this thumbnail and I posted this caution about an hour before the market actually started to dip. So for those of you that had your notifications on and you saw this, maybe you were a little bit more in the know, but we're going to dive into why and what's going on in the market so we can make sure we are making the best decisions. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Let's take advantage of this opportunity, everybody. This is the moment we've been waiting on. Yes, the full bull is right now in effect. However, we're going to see these opportunities along the way. And I think this may be among the last. So much so that I am confident in playing the pump music because we are in the middle of what's going to be very exciting. So let's go.
Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin to flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin pumping, altcoins pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pump.
we are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't nobody
flight to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
This is the moment that you have been preparing for. If you're frustrated right now, understand the frustration. It's a bias that you have that you need the market to go somewhere. Recognize that these opportunities present themselves only a few times in the market, especially with where we're positioned. If you're ready to dive in, throw a 1 in chat. I want to see everybody get active. Roll call. Let's do this. We are doing this together. Let's take advantage. Let's go. What an absolutely incredible morning. Why would I say that on a day that the market is crashing? Is the market crashing, or is it providing us something that we can take advantage of if we're not being little boo-hoo baby bears? Looking at the market, look at this. Oh my God, it's crashing. But we did not have any problem when we looked at this right here, that 12% move, $11,242 to the upside. And now we're worried right now with the price coming down right here, about 5%, about $5,000. Understanding where we're at in this market cycle gives us all the confidence we need for what we are looking to, especially with the most pro-crypto friendly and supportive and empowering administration. We just got the certification yesterday of that election, which is probably a little bit of this pump that we got, but also understanding that we have more institutions and big money and smart money in than we've ever had in what is an absolutely incredibly small, I mean, this is a grain of sand compared to larger markets. These can be pushed around so easily, and understanding that there's a fixed supply of Bitcoin of only 21 million, the fact that we're in the middle of a supply shock, but there's still emotions on the table that can be pushed around to drive these types of market sentiment. Now, could this be explained by news? Could this be explained by, well, how about we just ignore all that freaking bullshit and look at the chart and see if the chart told us that there is a possibility for a pullback? Well, let's go ahead and look at what's going on. First off, look at this. Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. If we draw that, the golden pocket is right here. look at where the price reversed. For those of you that have not been following along on the BitLab Academy channel for the last 2 years, or if you're not in BitLab Academy and gone through all the courses there, one of the things we talk about in there, we have a whole section on it, is these Fibonacci retracements. Fibonacci's, very quick little lesson for everybody. Fibonacci's are essentially a rule of nature. Humans are in markets. Therefore, when we're looking at the price action that plays out, we're looking at a graphed visual representation of the psychology of human interaction in the market. Excited, fearful, hopeful, greed, fear, all that is exemplified in here. So when you have these breakdowns, you very regularly can see price retrace into the golden pocket. So much so, we can do it very easily without even having to look far to find it. Let's just, like for instance, right here, let's do a Fibonacci from this top to the bottom, and let's look at that. Boom. Look at where, oops. There we go. Godly, come on. Looking right here, look at where the price reversed. Look, from here to the bottom, boom, and look at the price pushing up. Where did this reverse? Right at these two lines. You see, boom, see these golden pocket? That's where it reversed. Similarly, you can see even on the macro back in 2017, 2018, you look at this, boom, option F there to the to like right here, that first breakdown. Look at this. Breakdown, where did it bounce? Right into the golden pocket rejection. This happens, there's a million more ways to exemplify this, but just reminding you right now with what we're seeing is not something out of context and, oh my God, the whole bull market's dead. Let's go ahead and delete this. I don't even know what these are. Boom. Understanding that what's happening right now, there's nothing out of context with this whatsoever. In fact, the price is just essentially still filling out all this price action within this range, essentially right in here. I'd say $96,000 to $100,000. It's filling in a barrier for when the price action does start to really, really blast off. And I don't mean like a deviation like this. I mean, the price action pushes up, retraces, finds support, continues. Later on down the line, whether it's a couple months from now or many months from now, when we get a very large breakdown in markets, we want to have some sort of barrier for price to find support on, so it doesn't just move all the way up, let's say to 150 or 200 or 300, and then crash all the way back down, coming all the way back down here to the 65 to $75,000 region. This is exactly what we want to see. And if we understand when we're looking at the market coming over here, I'll come back to that in a second. When we understand where we're at in this bull market, actually, let's go from cycle bottom. Understand we are still well within almost exactly where we would expect to be looking at the last two cycles. This is current cycle, pink line. This is the 21 cycle, and this is the 2017 cycle. We're still within the context of where the price is sort of estimated, projected, or could be if we look at how the last two cycles played out, measuring from the cycle low, counting days to where we're at right now, we're still 100% in context. And some would argue that things should take a little longer because the market cycle is a little bigger. That's actually quite a bit bigger. You know, we're in that $2 trillion market cap range with Bitcoin right now. And so even if this goes below this and takes a little longer to curve up, that would make sense in the market. In fact, we saw something opposite last cycle when we turned this off and just look at this. This actually ran up a bit quicker. Now, why would that be? The context of the situation, we had the world economic shutdown right here, and then mass money printing started here. And so we got a really quick explosion that came to the upside. Then it was a little too fast, came back down, and then we ultimately had the high that was roughly within a couple days of where the 2017 high was, which you can see right here. So when we turn this on and we realize, why is this? It's exactly in context for what we're expecting. Now we're going to come back to what this other chart was here in a few minutes, so I'll just preload that up. But looking back at where we're at right now, let's go down to the 4-hour chart and realize not only did this push up into the golden pocket, it also pulled back where? Right to that next fib level, the 382. Now, when we turn on the BitLab trading stack, look at this 4-hour chart signaled. Hey, not only are we at the golden pocket, the underlying data is suggesting we could get a trend shift here. That's exactly what we got. Went sideways. And then look at that. Basically full Bart Simpson that actually came down a little bit lower to where this candle started. So does this mean it's over? No, it means we've got a little bit more time of having some exciting opportunity before this market fully fully runs away from us. So understanding who cares about the news, who cares about the job reports, who cares about geopolitics, who cares about maybe this was a pump because the election was certified. Look at the charts. What do the charts say? If you specifically look at the charts, the measurement from here to the low here gave us a golden pocket right here. We also, within the data, within the BitLab Trading Stack Indicators, we saw the trend shift here, and weakness came in, and it came right back down to that next target, the 382. Now, if we lose this, is it over? No, it just, to me, this would mean that if we really start, washing out a bit lower, that we'll likely come back down into this $93,000, $94,000 range. But I'm going to show you why I think that's unlikely and what's happening, because where we're at in the cycle, and I still expect January to be a very bullish month. But let's go through some of this, because yesterday we were over $3.6 trillion, and now we're back down to $3.43 trillion. The market's over. No, a little bit of necessary correction along the way. Looking at the last 7 days, does this look like it's over? Excuse me. Does this look like it's over? No. It's rise, retrace, continuation. Rise, retrace. What's next? Likely continuation. Nice move up, a little bit of retrace. Fairly sideways. That's good because that's tether. Now, what do we see here? XRP holding very steady, but we got some great news we're going to talk about with XRP and Chainlink today. BNB, nice move up, a little bit of a correction, but we're still holding above this previous range high. Everything, I mean, this looks healthy as it can be, and people are losing their minds. And just a reminder, I posted the title for this. I posted the title for this stream and the bull caution thumbnail about, I think it was about 9:15 or something like that, before the market started correcting, because I was seeing the signs that, yes, this is still a very bullish market. We're in an incredible bull trend. But when you get on the smaller time frames, it can feel like everything's over. But that is why we have strategy. That is why we have this community. We're giving you meaningful tools, content, non-biased looks at the market. We're talking about the data, not where's the price. Screw all that nonsense. Let's look at the data so we can make smart decisions in the market. Because when we see this pushing up, flushing out this liquidity, pushing up, flushing out this liquidity, pushing up. Now, what happened? We had a lot of liquidity stacked below us, and look at this just washing out. Liquidity is now being grabbed aggressively. Bounce off the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, potential drop to 95.8. As stated earlier today, here, the 61.8 fib, because there's two different ways you can do fibs. The fib from when you push up and then you have a crash, then a big move down, you do the fib. So on the bounce where it might have some resistance. Similarly, on a move up, you can draw from the low to the high. Let me show you. You can draw a low from the high right here. Boom. So we have this fib measured from here to here. And then you can also measure this fib from here up to the top there. And this is, look, right, what Stock Money Lizards was saying, right here in the 95.9, basically $96,000 region, 95.5, this zone right here. So let's just say this is, I would argue this would be like, hey, let's really wash some suckers out. And this would really make people lose their minds coming down into the 93. But coming back over here, that's what he's talking about. Coming down all the way to that golden pocket, which on a move up, a very irregular move, can be coming down to the golden pocket to find support to make that next move to the upside. This is also illustrated in the chart with all the liquidity basically being all through that region. That golden pocket is roughly about right here. So you'd be clearing up all those nodes. And when you look at this on this next chart, you can also see this playing out exactly. This is measured from here to here. This is what I just showed you. And it shows you the relative areas that are, identifiable targets, and you want to see how they relate to what's happening on the price action. So this golden pocket right here looks like, look at this, it's perfectly right where this top is, right where this rejection is, right where this support is, right where this rejection is, right where this support is right here. So this is a very reasonable level to consider the price come back to before it goes out. Now, why would they do this? Remember, there's bigger players in this market than there's ever been. There's people that have been trading legacy markets for 30 years that are now involved. There's quant traders, there's algorithmic traders. People are applying the same things that they've done on institutional hedge funds and trading and stock markets now to Bitcoin, and you're out here trying to out-trade them? This is why it's very important that if you do trade, first off, make sure you join our free traders group, which is right here. If you, right here. Free traders group, join our free traders group, boom, right there. It's on that link. But most importantly, that link that's pinned in the top of the comments right here. If you click on that, this link, we're under $100,000. So this link is still working. lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. And you get 15 days free in our Discord, where we got such a great community. People always giving them each other feedback, chart requests, multiple times a week, jumpstart TA sessions, member streams, all this. And then, of course, if you want to upgrade from that, there's 120 lessons about everything from candles to patterns to RSIs, stochastics, indicators, everything in there, as well as the full BitLab trading stack, which you get at a massive discount as well. Make sure you invest in the most important thing that you can in this market, which is investing in your education. So understanding what's going on here, and look at this reset. RSI right here on the 1 hour coming so far down. This is something that is very good, meaning things some people would say oversold. The weakness in the market, when things get this weak, you tend to get a pretty strong, the lack of buying is basically an exemplification of broad fear in the market. And then smart money goes in there and says, I'm going to buy this fear. And then you get this cascade effect of other buyers coming in, as then you create these short squeezes and buying pressure that drives the price higher. And we can also see this right here, $205 million wiped out in 60 minutes. Crypto is not playing nice right now, is it? This market is a beast. It's not meant to be easy. Everybody says, if I would have gotten to Bitcoin in 2012, I'd be rich now. Would you? Would you have held through all of those moves from $5 to $1,200, back to $100 up to 20,000, back to 3,000 up to 60, 64, 65,000, back to 15,000 up to 100,000? If you could have done that, you would, I mean, that is God level mode. A lot of people that are in that situation is because their accounts were locked. They lost their access from Mt. Gox. They had, they lost their wallet and then found it 5 years later. They forgot they had it. That's unfortunately the truth. There's some very few people out there like Max Kaiser and Roger Ver and a number of other people like that really saw the forest for the trees and bought and held. But you need to understand, this is people getting very excited. $205 million got liquidated in the last hour, and it's getting ugly out there. The market's flipping, and traders who are all in are getting wrecked because everybody says Q1 is bullish. So the second the price starts moving up, everybody starts going leveraged long. And it's not just a dip, it's a wipeout. No one's safe when crypto decides to go on a liquidation spree like this. So make sure you are protecting yourself. Now, let's just zoom out again. You're worried about a little dip, and this is what we're looking at. There's going to be massive oscillations throughout this market, and it's a function that really actually drives adoption of Bitcoin. This move from here to here garners so much public sentiment, excitement, posting, news media coverage. People come out of the woodwork buying this hype, only to have it reverse and come back down. It crashed, it's dead. But look at where this price is, $100 versus this one back down here, under basically about $250. The difference in the lows is what we should always look. About $100. What's the next one? About $3,000. Okay, what's the next one? About 15,000. The lows show you that this is absolutely one of the most bullish opportunities of our life. Now, within this, if you could take advantage of these lows, or even somewhere in here, depending on what your time horizon is, this is going to continue to oscillate with, in the near future, multi-$100,000 moves. And we're worried about a pullback of about 4%, 5%. Let's take advantage of this opportunity. Let's stop being absolute numbskulls in our greed and impatience in this market. Now, continuing on, MicroStrategy has bought 258,000 Bitcoin, $22 billion worth of Bitcoin in 2024. No individual, no institution, no nation, nobody out there is going to be stacking this much into something unless there is a concerted knowledge base of deep due diligence about where they think this is going. Remember that. They're buying the top, they're buying the bottom, they're buying on a regular schedule, because it doesn't matter what these oscillations do if you have a longer term time horizon. Now, let's be honest. Not all of us, probably most of us, don't have a long-term time horizon. A lot of us are over leveraged. And I don't mean, I'm not talking derivatives. A lot of us are over leveraged by having overexposure in this market because we're so excited about changing our lives that we're like, okay, well, BitLab Academy or Discover Crypto or Frankie Candles or Jason Casper, name your influencer. It doesn't matter who they are. they're saying Q1 is supposed to be very bullish. So then you put too much in, you're too exposed because you're expecting over the next 3 months to double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever. But then you see a 4% pullback and then you sell at a loss and you go, I knew I shouldn't listen. No, we need to have a better strategy in place to understand that even though Q1, and I still expect it to be incredibly bullish, there's going to be the staircase built to get there. It's not just climbing straight up a rope or jumping on a rocket and shooting up. It's building the stairway to heaven. And those that get up there are those that are worth, they find themselves patient enough to be worth the journey. And that's what's happening right now. And those that are able to either sit on their hands or stack into these opportunities before this market runs away, those are going to be the winners. Now, continuing on, what do we see? Also some other bullish news. Ripple has adopted the chainlink standard to access highly secure and reliable pricing data around the recently launched Ripple, the RLUSD. Now, this is important because when you look at this actually gives XRP and Ripple, RLUSD, a huge sort of advantage moving forward about the potential access they can get for integrations with a lot of these different partnerships and integrations that Chainlink already has with Fidelity, and Signum, Swift, and DTCC, Euroclear, BNY Mellon, Citibank. I mean, look at Franklin Templeton, UBS. These are all major international and national and international institutions, stock markets, financial product providers. This is major for not only Chainlink, but not only XRP, but also, one more feather in the cap of the millions of feathers for Chainlink and how integrated they are and plugging into the international finance ecosystem, as well as Web 2, as well as Web 3, bridging that gap, as well as connecting the large majority of the crypto ecosystem. This is why I'm so bullish on Chainlink and why in my altcoin portfolio, Chainlink is my largest holding. That is true because if I think it's going to have such an impact, why not also have that represented in my allocation? Now, continuing on, this was also, I was going to draw this out, but Caleb drew it out perfectly. Up in this zone last night, I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today. I was going to talk about bull caution. And I woke up today, there's a little bit of a pullback right to this $100,000 mark. I think a lot of people were like 100,000 round number, it's going to bounce. But who cares about the round number? Look at where this bounced. Look at this rejection. Look at these rejections here. Look at these rejections here. It gave a great box about what price level we should be paying attention to. And look at where price came into. I mean, if we look at it right now, this goes basically just right down to the $98,000 mark. And I mean, we're right in that zone right now, which is, we see it. Price action is just revisiting where there's previous price memory of rejections and support. That's all that's happening right now. And so we need to stop being so worried about this and allow ourselves to be patient or stack in. Now, continuing on, we do see some bullishness coming into the market despite today's pullback. Binance net flow, the simple moving average 14, turns negative. Is this bullish or bearish? Well, both metrics confirm that investor behavior on Binance is leading towards accumulation. This trend strongly supports the case for upward movement in Bitcoin's price over the short term. Now, this was 7 o'clock this morning. Is this all entirely negated? No, it's not negated at all. However, we likely will see some emotional reactions in the data tomorrow with a little bit of the spillage to the downside. There's going to be some emotions reflected in the data of inflows, outflows, all that. But when we see all this happening, we also see yesterday, after all of that, end of year shenanigans and tax harvesting and rebalancing of books and all that, what do we see yesterday? Boom, swift move to the upside. This is the ETF flows. Massive, look, downside at the very end of the year. And then boom, right as the year crosses into this first week where everybody's back from the holidays, boom. Now I do expect after today, maybe we'll see a little bit of a dip here. That's to be expected. But look at this, another 2,000 Bitcoin, 3,600 Bitcoin, 722, 1,500 Bitcoin, 700 Bitcoin, 700 Bitcoin, 169, 55. We are seeing the bullishness. We're going to see some ticks along the way. So let's not get so worried. Now, looking at Ethereum, when was the last time you zoomed out on Ethereum's chart? Monthly time frame. looks freaking beautiful. Large, almost a large cup and handle here, kind of at an angle. And the measurement out of this is up above $7,000. There's so many people that are still counting Ethereum out, and they don't realize one of the reasons we really haven't had that alt explosion yet. Yes, some things have exploded in little pockets and niches here, but when this breaks out and we really start getting running on Ethereum, that is when I think we're going to start seeing very shortly after the very explosive moves in those, top cap, mid cap, and low cap altcoins that we've been waiting for, that legendary altcoin run that we've all been talking about. And that's exemplified right here. Here's the altcoins to Bitcoin chart. Another chart suggesting that crypto is rising significantly higher, and it's going to happen soon. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Isn't it remarkable how similar the structures are? 2020, 2021, basically a falling broadening wedge, a breakout, a little pump, sideways launch. Okay, falling broadening wedge, breakout pump right here, sideways, and then starting to get that move. Currently, there's a lot more things on the table right now about what's happening. And I think as excited as everybody is for the inauguration January 20th, people are still, I don't want to say concerned, there's still hesitation as to what can really get done. We got a crypto-friendly administration coming in. Great. Not everything, the whole path isn't cleared the day after Trump gets in office. There's going to be potential executive orders. What are they going to do? Are they going to actually buy 200,000 Bitcoin for the next 5 years? Or is the first executive order going to be, we're not going to sell this 200,000 that we have right now, and then we're going to try and figure out how we get the rest of the reserve, basically the purchases and how, the whole, you know what I mean? The whole rigmarole, how they're going to actually get the funding to buy. Are they going to take it from gold allocations? Are they going to close down other, with the Department of Government Efficiency? I think there is a little hesitation about what this all means. But in addition to that, we did see stronger jobs numbers today. So although the charts did indicate we could get a pullback, the job numbers also sort of soften this argument about a potential rate cut, because the fake numbers that these governments are using show maybe the economy is doing better than it is. Well, I kind of think that's still a lie. Remember, they had to revise down the job numbers, 1.6 million last year, because they gave out false reporting. It was all inaccurate. So who's to say the same thing's not happening now? But I do think today's just more of a reactionary, basically a speculative opportunity than it is people actually being scared of the market. Big money is taking advantage of that. And then we see right here, according to history, the true alt season should be starting in 13 days. Now, I always take these with a grain of sand, but let's see why. Oh, they're doing it based on the inauguration, based on the inauguration, based on the inauguration. Are we going to get that next wave shortly after this? Because remember, there's one thing that markets love. Markets love certainty. And although we have good sign and certification of the election, there's still uncertainty about what's going to happen between now and then. What potential executive orders could still be signed by the current administration, what pressures could still be brought to bear from the current chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler, just all kind of things that could happen. So will certainty of new administration actually being in office actually release the Kraken? What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to be a little bit sideways? As excited as we are right now, do you think we're still going to be a bit sideways for the next 13 days and then blast off? Do you think we're going to blast off before that? Do you think we're going to sell off because we're already overpriced? Let me know what you think in the chat right now. Let me know, what price do you think Bitcoin and Ethereum, those two, what price on January 21st, what price do you think Bitcoin is going to be? What price do you think Ethereum is going to be on January 21st? I'm curious to see your thoughts. Let me see it in the live chat right now. When do you think alts will pump? Well, I think we're setting up for that, as I just outlined with the chart that's currently showing on the screen that's talking specifically about that. I think we could get a little bit more of a washout because there's so many more people that are aware of all this data that weren't aware of it before, about the history of when alt season started, about the new administration, the crypto administration, crypto positive administration coming in. I do think there was a little overpricing in the market. And so a little bit more consolidation here wouldn't be the end of the world. In fact, it would create a stronger bull market when it does eventually break. So I'm still stacking. I'm sitting on my hands for the most part, but when I do, free up capital, I am stacking in. But so when we look at what's going on right now on Bitcoin, and we understand that this move from the top to the bottom, right into, look, golden pocket and a reversal, basically potential reversal signal. We got that. Boom, came back down. Now we're sitting right here on this basically breakdown, a measurement from here up here. This let's go like that. Boom. And look at where the price is. This is the 382 right here. Price is sitting there hovering. If we lose this, I do think we're going to be finding some support in 95.5, which would effectively clear out all of that liquidity that we were just talking about. Let's go to the weekly chart. Boom. Make this large. All the liquidity. See this hot node, all the way down to 96. So coming down into the zone would not be something out of context. In fact, it would only be Bitcoin coming down into the golden pocket of this full move, which is a regular occurrence on pumps. You get a pull back to the golden pocket, bounce. So if we're prepared for that, it's not like, oh my God, why is this crashing? It's, oh my God, thank you for my ability to see the opportunity to stack in some limit orders to buy in this zone and ride that next wave to the upside. Now, when we come over here and when we come over here and look at the others chart, still very bullish. Massive move on the others chart. This is everything in the market outside of the top 10 on the crypto market cap. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exclude all those, and it's basically all of these market caps graphed out on the chart. So you're seeing how the altcoin market is doing. Massive move up, consolidation to the downside in a falling channel. We called this breakout, boom. And what's happening right now is something you see, whether it's on the 1 minute, the 1 hour, the 1 day, the 1 month, is you see breakouts, a confirmation move down. Where do the bulls basically defend a higher low? And as it stands right, I just noticed this. Let's look at this. I just noticed this. This is actually super bullish. Look at that right there. Oh yeah, that's what I want to see. We got a low. We got a bounce on this, boom. Look at where this is. If this can hold this, and look at the intersection of this horizontal support level right here, previous support, resistance, support. If this can hold in this box right here, maybe this is a washout, because we have a rising level of support, horizontal level of support. This would be magic. If this is lost, I'd be watching for an opportunity kind of right in this zone right here. Why? Because you see the chop zone, you see the rejection, you see the bounce, you see the rejection here, you see the support, support. So if this is lost, that means we're going to have a pretty big spill in altcoins again. But as it stands right now, I think they're trying to do everything they can to commit you short before we get a major move. And I think we're going to have a major move sometime in the next 1 to 3, between the next 1 to 3 weeks, like where we start seeing face melting stuff. So let's stay vigilant. Let's stay calm and collected. Now looking at XRP, what do we see? Rejection. And look, we broke out. We're finding support. If we lose this, and look at this, not only on this descending level of previous resistance, now support, it's right in line with this rejection, with this support, with this, If we fall back into this, I'm watching for a target kind of right in this zone. Golly, come on. Right in this zone, right in here. And that would be kind of like the washout move before a launch. If we do lose that, I think we're coming back down here to the $1.95 sort of region. But we're seeing, I think more than anything, there's overexcitement that the market is taking advantage of by flushing down. And once that, the anger is, if people get washed out from the overexcitement, then they tend to flip a little too aggressively bearish. And then that presents that other opportunity to wash out the other direction before the liftoff. We also see this on Avalanche. Look at this, right into this line that we've had marked out. Coming back, where's it at? Right at these highs. If this does break down, then I'm watching again, right back basically in that 37 to $36 range for this. But I still feel like this is, let's get them committed. Let's scare them. Let's go. That's what I feel like is most likely. If we take a measurement, Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. Okay, look at this. We lost the 382. Excuse me. The golden pocket is right there, just above that 37 mark, right here in the 38. Now look at this. I just noticed this. We have this we have this trend line. Let me double click here to give me more screen real estate. We have support, 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 rejection. Okay, support. Now, if we extend this out, keeping that same line, look at the intersection here of the golden pocket and this rising trend line. This tells me this may be maybe a great opportunity for a limit order buy, maybe just a little bit above. Let me drag this up just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit above this. There we go. Like this, right in here, basically the $38, $39 region. And that would be very in context. You have the measured move from here to here. Fibonacci, we've lost the 382. So stands to reason we may get a little sort of wick down or some price action in here, kind of pinch in here before we break out. This is Avalanche. Now Cardano, kind of choppiness here. And we're right on this, see this horizontal region that we had outlined here. If we do lose this, then I'm looking at basically the move to come right down here because of this shelf, this rejection, and this shelf right here. But let's see how that lines up with the Fibonacci. Now, what do you know? That would basically be shortcutting, front running a little bit of this golden pocket. Now, as it stands, the price moves straight down to the 382 and held. This would be the most bullish if this just holds here, you know, chops here a little bit, and then moves to the upside. Now, will that happen? We'll have to see how the market plays out in the next, basically 2 or 3 days. If this is lost, I'm watching for an opportunity here. Basically, I might even, even though the dollar mark tends to be a round sort of number, I'd be looking for, I mean, I'd be okay with losing a little bit of that. I'd be looking at stuff in this region here for the next opportunity if this does continue down. But again, I'm still on the side that I think this is more of a washout than it is an actual concerted move to push things lower. Then we look at Ondo. Ondo's got that big summit they got in 30 days from now. And I do think they got David Short speaking at it. They got Larry Fink that's going to be there. I think they're going to announce some larger tokenization of assets beyond treasuries, maybe into bonds also, and other stock market integrations as well. I'm not really sure, but we're going to have to see. It is, I think, going to be a major catalyst for what is to come. There's a bit, it's very ugly. There's a bit of a shoulder, very weird head, shoulder right in here. But again, I think this is more, that whole pattern here is more of a symptom of a setup to scare people than actually, break down. When we look at just this pattern that basically oscillated here in this falling channel, it broke out. It's coming back down into this region. So what I'd be watching for here on Ondo is sort of God dang it, in this region right in here. Let's turn on the BitLab volume. Sorry. And look at that. Wouldn't you know it? There's an order block. See this green box? A lot of liquidity interest right in here. So if this does dip into here, I think this will be a pretty good barrier, great opportunity to buy if this does dip down into the 130s, mid 130s sort of zone. Now there's a potential as the summit's coming up in, was it next month, 30 days from now. So I think it's end of the first week of February, that there could be speculation into that and then a sell-off. But as it stands right now, this market is just sort of, again, I really think this is trying to commit people short before we get that next move. So I'd be looking for opportunities here. I'm not even talking about, we've already talked about yesterday, clearing the 164, 166 sort of zone is when we start seeing the next move up into the 170s. And then we can start seeing some larger move. Aerodrome also giving them away some gains. Now there's a little bit of weakness here that I do want to highlight with this sort of descending sort of rejection. We're starting to get a flat level of support here. Is there something brewing where descending triangles, meaning descending resistance, flat level support, these tend to break bearish, but this isn't fully formed yet. So I'm not going to fully trust in that yet. Again, I'd be watching for Aerodrome to come down into the lower 130s, potentially, lower 130s, 133, 131, potential opportunity. Ultimately, with this large order block down here in the 115, to 120s, I think this would be, if we do get a breakout to the downside, I think this would sort of be like the trap before we got something like that. Again, barring any sort of larger, black swan event or something to that effect that really makes the markets as a whole have a rougher time. Okay, for whatever reason, Blockchain Basement doesn't have their thing up yet, but considering Algo giving back some gains, but still within this region, this is actually looking a little stronger than the last two. If this does break down, we have double order blocks down in here, telling me that we may have a really good opportunity. If this doesn't basically find support and start moving up, might have a really good opportunity down here in the low 30s, 32, 33 cent sort of region. So I'd be keeping an eye out on that for Algorand. But again, I think everybody's waiting right now. And remember, we just had the NVIDIA conference last night, not conference, the keynote at CES, and we had a bit of a sell-off, a sell the news event, but all the information and stuff they shared was incredibly bullish in the market. But then we look over here at the S&P 500 to Bitcoin, and we do notice this is looking a little bit weak right now. So I think there's a little bit of still sort of pause uncertainty in the broader markets as we see it right now until we get the inauguration and, probably, 4 to 8 days after that to really start seeing some, a strong directional movement picked for these markets. So there it is. Boom. Got it. But so I'm not trying to caution you. We are very bullish, but there is some hesitation in the market right now. And the certainty of where risk is going also tends to line up with what's happening with Bitcoin. When we come over here and we look at the global liquidity index, I do expect this to tick up again soon, but this has been bleeding as the Bitcoin price has been pushing up. So can you imagine what's going to happen when this does start to reverse and start to tick back up? But everybody's so aware of inflation right now and money printing. Is it going to take a little longer for that money printing to turn on? Is the People's Bank of China going to kick on that global liquidity and everything? Because what we're seeing right now is sort of risk off pressure on the markets. That's this measurement right here. This is an accelerated view on basically showing you how much this has moved as it relates compared to last year. This basically liquidity coming out of markets, pressure on risk. So it's actually remarkable what Bitcoin has done with this money coming out of the global liquidity. So when we're looking at all this and we're excited and we see Aave pushing up, but now, looking like a giant symmetrical triangle, if you ask me, right here, it's very ugly. But, having Aave come down, a little bit of those Trump pumps, excitement coming down into the zone wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Remember, we're still expecting a very bullish Q1 for the crypto markets. And as it stands right now, there's so much bullishness around it and everybody's aware of it. Having the setup to wash people out so not everybody's over leveraged before that move is not a bad thing. If you're prepared, if I'm prepared, if we are taking advantage of this, then we can allow this as an opportunity and also understand our time horizon, but do it smart, do it with, strategy. And again, if you're confused or you need a little bit more of a support group, become a member here on the BitLab YouTube. The way you do that, and I can't show you on here because mine, it won't show me, but I'll show you right here. This is on Discover Crypto on my, just like you see on mine right here. If you scroll down, it should say join there. It's like $1 a week. We do the Jumpstart TA sessions throughout the week and member streams periodically as well with just member TA requests and all kind of stuff in there. It's a great way. And then, of course, if you want a much more thorough education and everything, head over to lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Get involved there. We're under $100,000. Take advantage of it. And again, thank you to all of our channel partners, CoinW with the Free Traders Group, link in description, nordvpn.com/BitLab for 4 months free to make sure you're protecting your identity, protecting your finances, protecting your crypto, and also giving you access to log into stuff that's geo issues when you have stuff like that. nordvpn.com/BitLab. You get 4 months free. It's like $2 a month, I think. And then Arculus, head over to getarculus.com. Use code BitLab20 for one-tap total security, my favorite crypto cold storage solution. But that's all I got for you today, guys. We're going to head over to the blockchain basement now. Show some love. Did I get any super chats? Just want to make sure that I didn't. Okay, no super chats today. Awesome. Big love to everybody. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Adios.